when it comes to buying houses, everyone has one thing in common. They want to save as much money as they possibly can. Now, fortunately for first time home buyers, there is a little extra tip, or a couple tips rather, that can help you save some money, seeing as you don't necessarily have the equity of a current home you're living in. But before I get into that, please head down below, hit that subscribe button, as well as that notification bell to stay up to date with all of our content, and hit that like button if you learned something or you just enjoyed our talk today. So, first thing you can do when it comes to buying your first home, and this doesn't necessarily equate to exclusively first-time home buyers, but it is more often the case because you have more limited budgets. Time is money. The further you head out from a place like Barrie, the less money property is going to cost. You're going to get a better house at the cost of a drive. So, head outside of Barrie. Whether it be Elmville, whether it be Coldwater, any of these places that are smaller little towns kind of dotted around. You're going to start increasing in price when you approach like Aurelia and Midland. They're still less expensive than Barrie, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of like it's like a reverse bell curve. You've got your high up here, and then as you get away, you're kind of equidistant from everything, and then you're going to come back up in terms of prices. So, kind of get away from everyone else. Might be good for your mental health too. Who knows? The second thing to do is to look for a property that might need some work. Now, advice from that point of view would be find a property that you're able to move into and live in, and then have to make some changes from there. You don't want a property that you need to do a bunch of work on before moving into, because after you finish your 8-hour workday or you're done your work week, you have, your weekend, and all of a sudden you're going to work on this home. You're going to hate it by the end, I promise you. So, having something that is move-in ready, that you can make reasonable changes to, anyway, after moving in are great. Sometimes, though, things like flooring and fresh coats of paint are often better done before you move in. So, the third and final tip of this 3 is exclusively for first-time home buyers, and it is the Land Transfer Tax Rebate, available to first-time home buyers in Ontario. So, as the name suggests, it is exclusively for first-time home buyers in the province of Ontario. So, they define first-time home buyer as never having owned, or I believe it's having shared interest in any real estate at all. And so what it is the government will rebate you for up to $4,000 on your land transfer tax. So, quick aside, what is land transfer tax? It's taxes on the purchase of the transfer of land. It usually goes to municipalities because they can't tax on things like income. So, you get $4,000 of rebate for your land transfer tax, which equates to about a purchase price of $368,000, I believe. Anything more than that, and they will still rebate up to the $4,000. You have 18 months, I believe, between basically closing and no longer being able to get your rebate. So you do have to get it in relatively quickly because that time will fly. That being said, covering $4,000 is covering $4,000, and it's $4,000 that you do have to spend, but you do know it's coming back, which can be really refreshing. So those are my 3 big tips for saving money as a first-time home buyer in the Barrie area. If you liked what you saw and you like our content here, please hit that like button down below, as well as the subscribe button while you're down there. And don't forget to ring that little bell to stay up to date on all of our content. If you're interested in this video and you're first time home buyer yourself, I've got a video up here for, well, it explains offers. Offers are pretty dense, pretty heavy, and you need to know what's in them. But that's it for me here today. Have a good one.